Hey there, for those of you who are new to the Little Rock Marathon or may have just stumbled upon this video in error, my name is Hobbit Singleton and I am one of the coaches for the Little Rock Marathon. And if you're watching this video because you want to learn how to clean your house well or cook a roast, you need to go find another video because I will never talk about either of those things. Right now I'd like to talk a little bit about those of you who are thinking about doing our race, and particularly to our newer people who've maybe never done a race. My first race, I remember we'd stand around with all these runners and walkers and they'd be talking about all this stuff and I had no clue what the heck they were talking about. And we've also had some people in the past who have signed up for a race and they thought they were doing a 5K and they were doing the marathon distance. So our society tends to call everything a marathon, so let's just very briefly talk about what the different distances are. A 5K is 3.1 miles, 10K is 6.2 miles, the half marathon is 13.1 miles, and the marathon is 26.2 miles. So a lot of times I'll get people who tell me that I want to train for the marathon, and when we really start talking and I ask them a lot of nosy questions, I find out they were really interested in training for the 5K. They had no intention of going 26.2 miles. So I just wanted to kind of explain that on the front end so you'd know which race you might be looking at. One of the other things I'd kind of like for you to think about is your reason for thinking about doing a race, no matter which distance. Something that sounded really good over a beer or a glass of wine or a piece of chocolate cake with all your buddies. Yeah, let's go do the marathon. That might not be the reason that sustains you for 30 weeks of training in the case of the marathon if you start with the build-up schedule. So kind of think about what it is that you want to do, because this training for a marathon or for any race is all about you. It's not about anybody else, and it's got to be about what sustains you and keeps you motivated on a day that might be like today, where it is pouring down rain. And yes, if you were scheduled to train 20 miles today, I would expect you to be out there if there was no lightning. One other thing, we have a lot of people that want to train with, Little Rock has a group that meets on Saturday mornings, and I get a lot of people that say, well, I would come train with you, but I'm not up to running that whole distance. When I get that whole distance down, I'll be out there. If you're thinking about doing a race, in Little Rock we try to be very, very conscious of everybody's pace. And by the way, if you're new, your pace is usually, we're talking about how many minutes does it take you to go a specific distance, usually a mile. So if you are a slower pace person like moi, then I do walk. I don't run a lot. Occasionally I will do what I call running, which is my partner will look over at me and go, you think you're running, but you're really not. So we welcome walkers. We welcome people that are not really running the whole distance. Don't wait till you can run the whole distance for training to get out there and start training. It really doesn't matter. What matters is what you want to do, how committed you are, and what'll get you through the training season. That's our first video. The second one is going to be even more exciting. Talk to you later.